It comes from the ages, long past, deep in the bowels of the earth, sealed away by 5 archmages of lore and magnificence. It's a health potion.
Okay, Gandalf.
R.I.P. Christopher Lee.
Yeah, R.I.P. Sir Christopher Lee. While I'm at it, as far as if we're gonna reference Lord of the Rings, that was sad. Sad that we lost him. But anyway, on a happier note, continuing our thoughts on E3 2015, aka the best E3 ever.
We're gonna start with Ubisoft.
Yeah. I actually didn't see the very opening of the conference because I was out and about.
You didn't? You didn't?
No, I caught right when I turned on the TV and I went to the stream. The very first thing I saw was the clip of Cartman taking the stick out of the toilet. And I was like, holy shit, no way!
We're okay, audience. Now we're going to start talking about our buttholes.
Yeah.
But not buttholes in the way you might think.
Yeah.
We're talking about the South Park fractured butthole.
How they got away with that?
South Park. Well, it's because they're playing with words.
I know.
Because it's not butthole, it's butt
people know.
hole.
People.
But yeah, people. But I feel like it's clever. But the thing is like this is the sequel to the game last year, South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Awesome.
Except this year, instead of it having a medieval fantasy theme, they like what they were doing before, like with Game of Thrones and stuff. This is superheroes.
Good.
So we're gonna get all the superheroes. We're gonna get Coon and Friends. We're gonna get Professor Chaos. I hope we get Cthulhu showing up at one point in time, just because of because you saw Mittenberry Crunch and Kenny's character Mysterion. So that's pretty awesome. Apparently, they said that you're supposed to find out more about the origin story of the new kid because you're coming back as the new kid again. Yeah. So you're coming back as the new kid, and it looks. I mean, they didn't show much. Just the fact that it's going to be superhero based this time, and that it's going to be the origin story of the new kid. And Matt Stone and Trey Parker came out and they openly said "fuck" about 5 times. And but the thing is that was just them being them. They weren't trying to be edgy or anything like Aisha Taylor did about 5 seconds after they left, where it's like, yeah, this is fucking cool, right? And where it's kind of like, the thing is like, I like you, you're okay, but you overdo it sometimes. She's great on Archer. But yeah, no, so they opened with Fractured Butthole, and I thought that was a good way to start their conference because
no game
kind of...
No
well, because the thing is like...
More of an announcement trailer.
Yeah, but the thing is it sounds like they're excited to actually get in and make this game this time. I think they said that
they would never do another one.
Yeah, but it's probably just because they dealt with a studio that was going under, and they really didn't get what they needed from them. But the thing is when it was picked up by Ubisoft, they actually were like, hey, this is really fun. So they're like, you know what, let's do this again. Yeah. So... honestly, I like it. It's like a way for them to tell more South Park stories on the side, I think that's really cool.
While we wait for the new seasons to come out, we have the games, which are pretty much full seasons within themselves.
Yeah, which is really cool. I still haven't finished the Stick of Truth. Like, I got to the Underpants Gnomes part, after they shrunk you and you got large again. So I'm going to go back and finish that eventually. That's probably what I'm going to be doing. Like, once I finish, with Witcher and Batman... this long wait between now and the end of the year, I'm probably going to finish South Park. I'm going to go back and probably finish playing the original Final Fantasy VII that I have on my PS3 and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for that. I thought that was a good way to start their conference.
That was a hell of a good way.
And what did they show next?
The next thing was a new IP for them called For Honor, which is apparently a medieval sword fighting game that combines both, not both, but all, knights and samurai.
Yeah, they had, samurai, Vikings, and, knights, And the best way from what I saw it in the way it looked, because I think you could do maybe first person and third person, I can't exactly remember, but the way it looked to me was pretty much just like, someone else has said this, it's like if Chivalry had a baby.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. But the thing is, it looks really cool. I mean, if they give it maybe a I don't know. I want to say if maybe they give it maybe like a $40 price value, I'd say it was probably definitely worth picking it up to play it online with people. It'd probably be pretty cool to kick around with.
I doubt it would be $40 considering it's Ubisoft.
Well, I mean, the thing is like I'm always really iffy about games that just sell only multiplayer.
Right. Well, I don't know if it's only multiplayer. It looks like
we don't.
Dynasty Warriors.
Well, I mean, yeah, it kind of did look like that. Well, I mean, it looked like Dynasty Warriors and Chivalry put together. But Chivalry is pretty much that, too. But anyway, yeah, no, I mean, it looked like a pretty good game. Like, the guys behind it looked pretty excited.
And then it showed, they showed an expansion for the crew, which,
I don't care.
The one that I did care about was the
Trials
Fusion expansion.
Yeah, like the freaking cat riding on the back of the fucking unicorn breathing fire.
With a triple rainbow in the background.
And explosions.
I was like, what the hell is this? And then it was like, Trials Fusion. And I went, no fucking way. What?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't really sure what I was going to like out of the Ubisoft press conference.
They're usually the worst as far as
didn't
terrible.
Yeah, what did they go to show on next?
They showed The Division again.
Yeah, The Division. I mean, they actually showed more gameplay of it this time, and it shows how you could be a total dick and basically
rogue
you can drop group and basically kill your teammates right before you like helicopter out and take all their loot. But basically, if you do that, you're gonna end some friendships right there.
Totally.
But it looked like it was kind of an interesting dynamic where like they were a group of 3. There was 2 people running on the side. They both picked up loot from this one kill.
Yeah.
And basically they killed off the other guys, and then they turned around and, you know, they're like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, like I think it was the guy that was motivating them to kill the other guys was the one that I think ended up being a dick and killing his teammates too.
Oh yeah.
Because like he just dropped group and like mowed everyone down. But yeah, no, I mean that's an interesting aspect of the game.
Yeah.
It's just I'm tired of seeing the same game like over and over and over again.
At least they announced a release date for this time around.
Yeah, but I mean it's like we've already kind of pretty much seen what they've shown us. But it's just I feel like they didn't really come with anything new, so it was kind of a waste of time.
Yeah.
And then I think they went on and started talking about Rainbow Six Siege. They didn't talk about a story mode. I don't know if there's going to be a story mode, but they had Angela Bassett, which was cool.
Terror Hunt is in it, which is the co-op or alone, which, you know, that's fine, but there's really no story.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Angela Bassett.
Yeah, Angela Bassett is in it, which I really like her, so I was pretty happy that she's in that.
Yeah, I really hope Siege has a story mode, because it seemed like they were talking about it. They're like, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Yeah. For a second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I might. Hold on. Let me come back to this.
Okay. No worries. What? And
that was an intermission, but we're back.
Yeah. 2 days later.
2 days later. So for you, it seems like we're just 12 minutes into this thing, but for us, it's been 2 whole days.
Yeah, and actually, that's actually kind of a blessing in disguise, because more information has come out now that we can talk about.
Yeah.
For some of the stuff that's concerning, like Sony and Square Enix and all that stuff. I think the last, we stopped with Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, well, we're talking about the really cool, Angela Bassett trailer.
And
stuff like that, and they're talking about like the terrorist hunt mode and stuff like that. I am still waiting for some kind of story mode or main mission mode, because I mean, multiplayer is cool and all, but I really like playing the story modes of the Rainbow Six games, you know?
Yeah. Which is why I was really disappointed that they canceled Patriots, because that seemed like a really bold, unique game that was going to come out that will let you play the side of not only the the SWAT team, but of the terrorists as well.
Yeah.
And they would have you shoot at your own guy, and then you'd shoot right back. And you even as the counter terrorist, you would have to make these fucked up decisions for the greater good. I mean, it was not an easy game to digest, and I think a lot of people at Ubisoft were really scared by the potential backlash to come from it. So I think that's why they canceled it.
So they were afraid to put out their own Spec Ops: The Line?
Yeah. Was that them? Was that what Spec Ops? Ubisoft?
No, but I'm saying like their own kind of Spec Ops: The Line, because
no,
I mean
man,
the thing is in Spec Ops: The Line, you go along and you do a lot of fucked up stuff, like
But it's also got a twist where the villain is you, where it's like, well, that kind of, I mean, it's still a really good game, but it kind of makes it more like a Fight Club kind of thing, like more of a psychological. But this is more of a real world, life or death, concrete threat kind of thing, where you are seeing it from both sides of not only the counter terrorists but the terrorists themselves. And it was at the time playing on the whole like financial crisis that we had going on in America, how the rich were getting so like overwhelmingly wealthy while the poor were struggling, and it was set to be this thing where the poor would just band together and form this terrorist group called the Patriots, and they would go around and just brutally murder all these rich people, which sounds rather didactic on paper, but when you see it in action, and from the demo that I saw, it looked really interesting, and I was really excited to play it. And then it went dark for so many years, and last year they were like, well, no, Patriots is canceled, here's Siege. And I thought, oh, well.
Yeah.
I mean, Siege looks alright, but, man, what we could have gotten with Patriots, where that could have been something really, really bold and button-pushing, but I guess they just want to play it safe and do another kind of...
Yep.
Whatever.
They're just gonna, like, let's just make another thing.
Yeah.
I mean...
I'll never get over that. It was just a big disappointment to me. The whole thing of them saying Patriots is canceled, that dampened a lot of my excitement for Siege, because Siege didn't look anywhere near as interesting as Patriots.
So the thing for Rainbow Six Siege is if they can go and put in like a campaign mode where basically it's just like a set of levels where, you know, you got to stop the terrorists. Because, I mean, the original Rainbow Six, like, on the N64 that I played, it was basically, that was it. You would just be dropped into, like, a field and be like, okay, your mission is to save, you know, the hostages, and you just got to, you know, like, move around and tell your people what to do, and then find different ways into the building and things like that, like, which is basically the same thing as what they're doing now, but... The thing is like, it can't just be multiplayer only. It can't. No. And that's what bothers me when they first announced the game. They just, instead of having some kind of CG for a story mode just to kind of toss out, they're like, well, here's like this multiplayer. Have fun. By the way, PC only beta. And it's like, what the fuck?
Which, I want to address this from the people that are like, well, what's wrong with a multiplayer-only game? What's wrong with that? Like, I was like, it doesn't matter if you're all about single-player. There's people out there that want multiplayer. And I'm not saying multiplayer-only games are necessarily bad. There are some multiplayer-only games out there that I really enjoy. But the reality of it is that a single-player game is much more appealing to a wide variety of people, and for technical reasons, because look at what happened with the whole hacking thing last Christmas. Okay, you couldn't even get onto the online-only games. You couldn't play Destiny. You couldn't play like your Call of Duty multiplayer. You couldn't play Battlefield. You couldn't do anything. It's out of your hands. At least with a single-player campaign, you have something like an offline experience that provides lots of value, lots of wealth, well, not wealth, but lots of value, lots of longevity, and it will be there with or without online. I mean, why do you think people got so upset with Microsoft when they tried to force this DRM thing? why do you think people are so upset now that the new Need for Speed is online only?
Well, I mean, yeah, because the thing is people are still, I mean, okay, so here's the thing. When Don Matrick from, well, he's not with Microsoft anymore, but he was a former president of Microsoft, where basically he's like, well, he was asked, well, okay, well, what about for people that, don't always have don't have good online connections and things like that? And he was like, oh, well, just get an Xbox 360. I mean, and then basically it's one of those things where it's like, oh, it'll do a 24-hour update, and if you're not connected online, it'll turn your system into a brick, which is just, I mean, there was always, I mean, that was the reasons why I never got an Xbox One initially. So, yeah.
No, well, like I said, I honestly, looking back, I don't know if Sony would be in the same position that they are now if it weren't for that initial super boost of goodwill for
well, I mean, they were
standing up against it. And I give them, still give them a lot of credit for it. And we'll talk more about that during the Sony.
Yeah, but but the whole point that I was trying to make is that there's certain things you can do with online games, certain things you can't do with online games.
Right.
And if you craft a really good single-player experience, or at least maybe like multiple, like co-op, like story modes and stuff you can play with your friends, those are the games that you'll come back to years later. Like, I'm looking, for example, at, games like The Last of Us. Like, I enjoyed the multiplayer on The Last of Us. But the thing is I wasn't there for the multiplayer. I was there for the campaign, and then I went back to it and played it all over again because I liked it so much.
Yeah.
It's not normally the case, and multiplayer is tossed into the games to, like, give it survivability, to, like, have other people, like, come in and keep playing your game. That's why they focus so much on multiplayer after a game comes out instead of single-player content. It's just because they want people to, like, keep playing and give reasons to keep owning the game. But yeah, no, it just the thing is in America, like, the companies that maintain our internet and things like that, our providers, basically are gimping all of us, because in Europe and Japan and all of these other countries, their speeds are so much faster that it is absolutely ridiculous. That's the reason why you can't really play with people from other countries, because their internet speeds are so much faster than us.
Yeah.
That we would just get destroyed. And I mean, yeah, because if you look at it, our best internet tier is like below the worst tier of internet they have in other countries.
Yeah.
And their best over in other countries is not only cheaper than what ours is here, but it is so much more. That's why when Google is coming in with Google Fiber and basically kicking around people's asses, saying, like, yeah, for like $75 a month, we'll give you 1,000 megabytes per second upload and download.
God, I can't wait till that's in my area.
And yeah, so I mean that's the thing with Google, like that's what's shaking up everyone to actually up their internet speeds. But and the thing is it's like, oh no, we're not charging you more. Well, we're just giving you more internet. We're giving you more speeds, and it's like, well, why can't you give me more than this? It's because they're keeping us restricted. We're so damn restricted. But yeah, that's why our internet sucks in America. But yeah, no. So it's not very I want to say conducive to online environments at times, because not everyone, the way that everything keeps being tossed out, like online-wise, is they're assuming that every single person has a stable internet connection, and that's not the case. I mean, one thing can happen, our internet gets bumped out, or like, maybe we can't afford it one month, or, maybe we're in an area that has shitty internet reception, so we don't really get good signals and stuff like that. It's not like the way they do a lot of their sales is based on the fact that everyone has really awesome internet, and that's just not the case.
Yeah. Anyway, what they showed next was this game called Anno 2205, and it's a city building game, and it's set in space, which, it sounds interesting, but I honestly was just bored watching the trailers.
If anyone's going to play a city builder, they're going to play SimCity or something like that.
Which But after that, it was Trackmania Turbo, which I was actually really interested in because it looks like Trials Fusion with cars. It looks like a lot of fun, where it's this gravity-defying, um, like I said, Trials Fusion, where you just go around these crazy-ass tracks, and people build them, you share them. It's a lot. It pretty much is like Trials Fusion, but with cars, and I love Trials Fusion, so I'm all on board for that.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not a racing fan, so.
One, Trials Fusion isn't really racing. It's more like timed obstacle courses, which are really fun, are really difficult, and some are pretty challenging, which is where you get the longevity in. And I don't even have the season pass for it, so
Yeah.
And even without the season pass, it gives you a lot of content for your money in Trials Fusion, which is one of the few Ubisoft games from last year that I really enjoyed, along with Far Cry 4.
Yeah.
So, and then they showed, of course, like they always do, a cinematic trailer for Syndicate, and you're gonna have to tell me about it if you saw, because I honestly zoned out during it. I think I was on.
I did. Basically, it showed the brother, one of the two leads,
Oh,
and
Jacob.
basically he's just kind of like it opens with him basically kicking some guy's ass in a pub and knocking him downstairs, and then he's walking with his homeboys or whatever, and yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Okay, so it's like every other Assassin's Creed cinematic trailer.
Pretty much. And then what happens next is like some guy runs up and he's like, "Oh, Mr. Jacob, something's going on. Come here, follow me." And he's like, "Come on, boys," or lads, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And basically they're all on a rooftop or something like that, and they're seeing like some guys take like orphans out of a boys' home or something like that. Like they all bought them or some shit, and this guy got a payoff, and then he hands his top hat to someone else and pulls his assassin hood over, and then he goes and he follows the carriage to see where the boys are going, and they end up in like basically this factory where he's gonna like force all these kids to like work in a factory, and you see like a Templar shoulder guard on him or something like that, and basically he goes in there, kicks everyone asses, hangs that guy up. Then he goes over to the other guy that sold the kids out, and he's like, "Okay, all of you are gonna work for me now." And then he kicked the leader's ass, and he's like, "Okay, everyone that wants to join me, follow me." And they basically just walk out, and it was basically super boring. I mean, it's nothing we haven't seen really, where it's like, "Oh, you have a gang now, Assassin's Creed Syndicate," and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's coming out later this year, and yet you don't have any gameplay. Okay, thank you.
Well, to be fair, they did show quite a bit of gameplay when they first announced it, which I was appreciative of, even though it wasn't like spectacular.
Yeah.
It was like, okay. I mean, I like I said, like we talked about before. I like the Victorian era, London era. I love trains. I love steampunk stuff. So I maybe this is still a maybe, even though again what we're talking about during Sony, what they showed there looked really cool too.
Well, yeah, no, like the sister one looked way better.
Yeah, the sister's more like that kind of combat. I'm like, oh hell yeah, I'm definitely all about that. But as far as Ubisoft goes, the last thing that they showed was actually quite an interesting trailer. I thought it was a little too long for what they were revealing, because I thought they were going to reveal some like big comeback.
Oh yeah, the God, what was it called?
Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yeah, I mean it was
It looked interesting.
Yeah.
Actual gameplay, which I was appreciative of.
Basically like team missions, and you can it showed them how you could approach it different ways, whether it's like a mix of tactical and assault, or just straight up assault, or just straight up like tactical sneaking around to complete these missions and things like that. And it's like open world or something like that, and I'm not really sure if that just means you just walk around and then you join in on online missions to do stuff.
I mean, we'll have to see more. We'll definitely have to see more. But I haven't played a Ghost Recon game. I don't even think I played the last few ones. It's been a long time since I played a Ghost Recon game.
Yeah.
But I like initially I thought it was going to be because they kept saying, oh, we're going to revitalize an old franchise, and I thought, okay, this could either be Prince of Persia or Beyond Good and Evil 2. It's got to be one of those two. And then they were like, it's Ghost Recon. And I thought, oh, okay.
I mean, you already have a ton of other shooty games, Ubisoft.
Yeah, you have two other Tom Clancy games.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, that's just the name at this point. I mean, rest in peace, Tom Clancy. But it's like...
Well, no, I mean, they're all, it's Tom Clancy, Ghost Recon, all this stuff, basically.
But I'll definitely take something more tactical over the run and gun of, like, Call of Duty and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would definitely take
But, I mean, they already
tactical.
have Siege, and they already have The Division.
But that's not open world. I don't think those are open world. I think those are more RPG.
I don't really know.
As far as The Division, I think that's more RPG shooter, whereas Wildlands is more of a third-person Far Cry thing.
Yeah, but I just feel like it's not diverse enough. If they would have done like the Prince of Persia or something, or Beyond Good and Evil, that would have been pretty.
Oh my god! Awesome. If they had announced Beyond Good and Evil 2, oh my god, that would have been awesome. Because I know so many people have been waiting for that. I personally I'm not all that crazy about Beyond
I never played the first one.
It's,
for me, it would have been a bigger deal for there to be like Prince of Persia that doesn't suck ass.
Because there hasn't been a good Prince of Persia game in so many years. Not since, I think, Two Thrones was the last one that was really great.
Not since the GameCube?
No, not since the PlayStation 2 and GameCube.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was Ubisoft's conference. Final thoughts, Eric?
I don't know. I thought what I saw was okay. I mean, for the most part, I didn't expect... The only thing that threw me off was the South Park announcement for the sequel, and that was the only thing I was really excited for. Everything else just kind of like, okay. Mm. I'm like, it's just the same kind of stuff you showed us last year. Especially for, like, the fucking Division, which we've seen 2 years plus in a row. And then, because I think they teased the Division 2 years ago. They showed more of it last year, and then they showed it again this year, and then just Siege again, and I don't really care about Siege, because, I mean, they haven't really talked about anything else other than multiplayer, and I'm like, well, I want more for my money than what you're showing me so far.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was a bad press conference. I thought it was an okay press conference. To be fair, they... aside from the games that they've already kind of showed, they showed a bunch of, like, new games, so, and, like, kind of cool, like, DLCs and add-ons and stuff.
Yeah, especially
so I wouldn't say it was bad at all. Definitely better than EA.
I don't know. I think I'm almost on, like, the same opinion as EA, where I expected the worst, especially with Ubisoft, because their last few conferences have been just painful to sit through, especially with just all the misguided jokes. And there are even moments like that in this one, which, I'm sorry, Aisha Tyler, I love you and Archer, but I still don't really care. Unless she's not telling jokes, or just maybe like...
Well, I think she kind of toned it down this year.
Yeah, she definitely toned it down.
It was like all these random stuff, and it's just kind of like,
Last year, it was Girlwood, and like she said, had to say fuck every other word, and I just thought, no.
Yeah, no, I was like...
How you do
I was like, I think you're trying way too hard. It's not funny.
No.
It's actually just kind of, ugh.
Yeah. But I surprisingly thought it was okay, which is a lot better than I expected. I expected it just...
I wasn't expecting anything from Ubisoft, to be honest, but the South Park thing was cool.
I nicknamed them the Ubisoft, aka the Awful Comedy Hour, which is what they always seem to do every year.
You could call them the tryhards.
Yeah,
they try really hard.
Yeah, the tryhards. The Aisha Tyler Comedy Hour, which last year was just embarrassing. The year before that was excruciating. This year was okay. I mean, yeah, there was that one moment where she was in the audience talking to that guy that dressed like Jacob, which that went on for way too long. That was not funny.
I think you're really hot, but I don't want rickets. And I'm like, that's not how you get rickets.
Yeah, that's not how you get the conference.
I was like, oh my god.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was the second... granted, it was the second weakest conference there, but it was still a hell of a lot better than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
So, anyway, moving right along to what I think is... I don't even know how to describe this next conference.
Oh, I have
Wish
the perfect
fulfillment,
little
one-on-one.
I have the perfect little sound bit
Okay.
before we start this.
Okay.
I just gotta
Yeah.
kick
This
thing
to
on
me
really fast.
was wish fulfillment one-on-one. I mean, this was. Oh my god. Oh man. I still can't even believe what they
And
did.
you would be surprised about the number of people that gave them shit for it.
I don't really care. Let's not talk about
Yeah.
that because I don't want to get all pissy.
We don't want negative vibes here.
No.
Um,
You're objective.
but unless it's coming from us, god damn it.
Yeah, we're right. You're wrong. Shut up.
Okay, so we're about to be there.
Okay. What's the soundbite? If it's like a. Yes, I had to turn on the PS4 for that.
It's very appropriate, though, because that is the sound you would have heard when you turned on your PlayStation to play Final Fantasy VII originally.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, the Sony press conference, a.k.a. the best press conference fucking ever.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but it was still...
Well, for
it
me,
was
they did a... The thing is for me, is E3 is game companies' chances to show us what they're doing for the future.
Yeah.
And they completely satisfied me, and that's all I wanted.
Yeah.
They opened up with The Last Guardian.
Oh my god.
And that game looks really, really nice.
I never thought we would see that again.
Yeah, and I mean,
kept talking about
I wasn't really sure what they were going to do either, because when they opened, it's like, we're going to start with something that
long anticipated.
Y'all have been waiting for a very long time.
And then
when
I'm like, started cheering. I was
it's like that could be anything. That literally could have been anything. And then they open up, and it's The Last Guardian. And I mean, it looks cool. The art style looks amazing. I'm not really sure exactly how the gameplay is going to work. If basically you're supposed to just be running around and you use
It looks like a combination of Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, where it has that Shadow of the Colossus thing where you're climbing on the back, doing the platforming stuff, and then it has the Eco element where you're kind of babysitting this creature. I don't know if I'd say babysitting is probably the wrong word, but you're coordinating with it to solve puzzles, which is a lot like Eco. So I think it's combining the best of both worlds, and at least this creature I think can defend itself, unlike the woman from Eco, who was fucking annoying as hell to
basically the NPC quest. God, the tag-along quest. That's the whole game.
Yeah.
People don't like that stuff.
Yeah.
But
this creature seems to be able to take care of itself and defend itself. I mean, sure, you're helping it along the way, but it doesn't look annoying like Eco.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, it looks like from the example that they showed that there was some kind of giant, sort of marker thing that was freaking it out a little bit.
Which is
that you had to get rid of, and then it was perfectly fine. And then I don't know. I mean, it looked really good. I'm looking forward to seeing more kind of gameplay from it, just in other areas to get a better feel for what's going on. But I mean, it was a great announcement. That means people know it's actually coming now. It's being worked on. It's going to be on the PS4.
Mm-hmm.
So Sony opened up with an exclusive.
Which is okay. I want to say this: if we had done the Sony show that we were planning on doing, my prediction for them would have gone along the lines of, I'm really, really nervous what they're going to show. I don't know if they can show anything great. I mean, sure, they're going to show Uncharted, they're going to show Street Fighter, they're going to show...
I thought they were going to open with Call of Duty.
That's what
especially after Microsoft not opening with it.
Yeah, but I would have said, my line would have been now this conference is the time where Sony cannot rely on goodwill anymore. They can't, especially after the Microsoft conference. So the Microsoft conference now has them beat on 3 areas. It has them beat in price, has them beat in backwards compatibility, has them beat on hard drive space, which if the 1 terabyte is going to be the new norm for the Xbox One, they have them beat in all 3 of those fields. What they need to focus on for this conference, they needed to focus on what you need to make us feel like this investment, this $400 investment, or for the people that don't have it yet, why the extra $50? Why this is worth it? And I feel like they delivered 100%, which I never expected them to do. I was like, holy hell! Wow!
Yeah.
Especially to start with Last Guardian, which
Yeah, that was a great way to start, because the thing is like everyone just started freaking out and they were super excited to see it.
Yeah.
You know, people thought that game was in development hell like Half-Life 3.
Mm-hmm. Well, even the director, Fumito Ueda, he went on in an interview to say he was really scared how the audience would react, and he was relieved to see that people were cheering and shaking his hand at the conference, and so happy that it was finally back. It was finally getting a release window for 2016, which hopefully this is legit, where it's going to come out in 2016. We're not going to repeat the same thing, which I doubt they will, because Fumito Ueda, he's actually doing it through a new studio rather than...
Yeah, because it's not Team Ico.
No, it's people from Team Ico, but it's not Team Ico, which it's fine as long as the same people are back.
Yeah, as long as like basically the everyone that was like managing and supervising the different areas and knows how to handle it is doing their job.
And it looks and feels like a Team Ico game. It definitely has that Shadow of the Colossus Eco vibe going on. And what I love about it too is that they actually showed gameplay, which is like, I thought they were just going to show a trailer, just a CGI, like not even a CGI, but like an in-engine trailer. But no, we got actual gameplay. We got to see how this looks. And it doesn't look like a PS3 port. It looks like they went back and redid all the original assets and made something ground up for the PlayStation 4. And it looks gorgeous. Oh my god.
Because I think apparently they started, it was a couple years ago, apparently, when they went and they just basically redid all the graphics and stuff for it.
Yeah.
I want to say.
I wonder.
But yeah, no, I mean, and the thing is for anyone that even would be a stickler about the game, saying like, oh, well, the graphics don't look as good as it could be. It's like, it's a very stylized game.
Yeah, it will age better. It will age better because it's in a different kind of art style rather than something trying to look realistic. It's going to age better because Shadow of the Colossus and Eco, because they don't have a very realistic art style, they've aged better. They still look gorgeous in 1080p HD on the PS3, because I was just playing Shadow of the Colossus again this morning, and it still looks fucking fantastic for a game that's 10 years old, over 10 years old.
Especially for a game that was like, did it come out on the PlayStation or the PS2?
PlayStation 2.
Okay, yeah, because the thing is, there's a lot of games out there from that weird, like, polygon era, where, like, everything was starting to move into the polygons, and some of them don't really hold up because of it. Like, if you go back and you try to play Final Fantasy right now, you have a little bit of a struggle because you're like, Jesus. Like, it's just, it's rough at times, but the thing is you can get over it, as opposed to another game that came around the same time, Breath of Fire 4, that was very cartoonized in the way that it looks, so you can still play it perfectly fine without any problems. So yeah, I mean, like, having a stylized art style is very important for games. I mean, not only does it give it its own feeling instead of just being like, oh, look, it just looks like everything else. Like, it has its own feel. Like the design of the main character, like, that was an interesting, like, cartoonish type of design.
He glows, which I think, he has this weird glow to him, which, I mean, we'll probably find out more. Maybe as, like, a contrast to the environment, but he definitely has a unique art style, and same with the, god damn it, if they, knowing Team Ico and how much they love tragic, bittersweet endings, I'm almost scared to pick up The Last Guardian, because I don't want this eagle dog thing to die at the end. It's so adorable. It's like this It's like this big giant puppy, and it even has the mannerisms of a dog, which I'm a dog person. I hate seeing dogs die and things, but I'm gonna be like, oh man, I'm like scared to pick it up. I don't want this thing to die, and I know it will. I know it will, knowing Team Eco. But anyway, and then what could they possibly follow up with that? How about a brand new IP that looks awesome, like something from a studio that's not normally known for these
from Guerrilla Games.
Yeah, I mean, these are the guys that did Killzone series, which it's always not been really my thing. But this is an open world, third person action RPG set 1,000 years into the future, where we've pretty much gone back to this era of hunter gatherer. Except the hunters, they wield like these electric bow and arrows with powerful cables and well, not really guns, and like kind of different kinds of future tech, and the animals in the environment are machines. And what I really like about it is that the main character, I forget her name, she seems to have some kind of empathy for these creatures, which in a lot of post-apocalyptic situations, it's always the animals are the enemy. They're always, we have to fear them. We always do this. I mean, sure, granted, not all enemies and not all creatures in Horizon Zero Dawn are going to be empathetic and friendly.
I mean, it's the thing about, like, if you look at Native American culture, like, the people, the tribes, I mean, some might hunt for sport, but they didn't really. They hunted for food. They hunted for survival. They respected the animals. They used every part of the animal. They treated it with respect. It wasn't just something to be killed and moved along. It's like it's having like respect for nature and the environment, which is like an important thing. And like I really liked the design of the character. I mean, everything looked pretty like cool. I liked the bow play when they showed us gameplay. I didn't expect gameplay. They gave us gameplay. And it seems like kind of like a different story. I mean, I'm interested to see how it plays out because I mean, it looks like maybe like the premise is that something happened and all of our shut off and basically everything reverted to basically like tribal cultures and things like that. Seems like the protagonist tribe was supposed to be the first one that actually became a hunter-gatherer tribe again and things like that. And there's other ones, and like some maybe like have more technology than others, or build up more fortresses and things like that. But I mean, I'm really interested to see where this game's gonna go. I mean, it looks really cool.
And it's called Horizon Zero Dawn, which I forgot to mention the title.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is so already we're seeing two big AAA exclusives for the PS4, which. That's already, I'm happy right there. I was like, what the hell? Like, oh my god, this, I can't believe they're doing this. This is crazy. They're actually providing more, like, long value in the future for this thing.
Yeah.
Not only did they bring back a fan favorite, a long-anticipated fan favorite, to bring in a new thing that looks great. So I was really happy at that point. And then they brought on Hitman, the new Hitman, which...
Yeah.
It looks all right. I mean, it's I haven't really played all that much Hitman since I was younger, but it seems to have an MMO kind of thing going on.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like like you're out in the world and you're given contracts, and the thing is like if you don't fulfill the contract and the person just gets away, they're gone. It's not like you can just restart. I don't know if it's like if there's going to be like multiple Agent 47s because it seems like you're still supposed to be Agent 47, but you're supposed to be interacting with other people. So maybe it's one of those things where when you're on a mission and if there's other people and stuff like that, maybe you still look like Agent 47 to yourself, but other people look different. Because there's been a couple of games that have done that with multiplayer where like you always look like, it was Assassin's Creed. You always look like your character, but the other characters can look different, or something like that. Like you're always Arno, but I don't know. It's like I'm not exactly sure how they're gonna do it. I'd like to see what they're doing because I was a little bit confused at what they were trying to do. But I mean, I wish they would have shown us a little bit more than what they had instead of just like some CGI trailers.
Yeah. Then the next thing they showed was, of course, there's 2 characters revealed for Street Fighter V, which I was actually happy they didn't do a long extended demo of this, because you can't really...
Yeah.
I don't know, because I feel like they've already shown quite a bit of it, but I was glad that they showed 2 returning characters, which of course, Cammy is going to be in it, who's been a long time she's been in the series, and Birdie, who looks really different than the last time I saw him. But
who apparently hasn't been in Street Fighter. I'm getting ahead of myself. Hasn't been in Street Fighter since 3, apparently.
Yeah, it's been a long time since you've seen Birdie. But yeah, I mean, it was short, it was sweet, I liked it, and of course they announced that the alpha test is going to be coming July 23rd. You've got, I think they announced the 2016 release date for it, and they pretty much confirmed that future, like eventually when they do the Ultra Super Street Fighter V, it's not going to be on Xbox One. It's going to remain, as long as it has Street Fighter V in the title, it's going to remain on PlayStation 4 only, as far as consoles go.
Yeah. And then I believe they showed off No Man's Sky.
Oh, that's
like the guy that basically came out and was like, you know what, there's a lot of stuff I could talk about, but I only have 3 minutes, so I'm just going to show you this.
Yeah,
and basically
which I really liked.
Kind of showed a little bit of a space battle, and then he's like, okay, well, here's a planet I'm next to. Let me just pull this back. And then, like, you just see a whole ton of suns, and he's like, let me just pull it back a little bit more. And he's like, okay, well, just want to let you know, like, all of these dots here, they are all planets. They all have they're all suns.
No, they're all solar systems.
Oh, they're all solar systems? I thought he said they were all suns.
No, those dots, they're all galaxies with their own solar systems in it, which I was like, what the fuck? What? Wait, whoa. Like, all
each one had its own planetary alignments around it.
Whoa.
And then he just, like, he just pulling it back and pulling it back, and it's just, he's like, some of these worlds no one will ever visit.
Yeah, I think he spent like 20 seconds zipping across all of time and space to go to a completely random area. And I like that it wasn't a staged demo. He was actually playing it on stage.
Yeah.
And it looked great. And I was concerned that it was just going to sound like way too ambitious, but to actually see it in action, it looks awesome. And I'm really excited to pick it up.
I'd really love, like, to just, I mean, it's one of those things where you could just play that game for probably years and never hit all the planets.
Yeah, I mean, your children's children can keep playing it and find things that you couldn't. I'm not making that up. Because they keep on, he said it's an infinite universe, which my one concern with that is that because it's procedurally generated, so it's pretty much just, it's like a slot machine. They're just randomly generating things based on preset assets. I wonder how long it's going to be before it starts to get repetitive, which it probably won't be for a while, but I'm concerned that we're going to hit that point while playing it where it's going to be like, yeah, I've seen this before. Yeah, I know, I've seen this already over in this galaxy, and it's like, but anyway, I mean, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but it looks fantastic. And I think he said it's coming out this year. Is that what he said? Because
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. I think he said it's coming out this year, but he didn't announce a specific date yet. So, okay. And the last thing I want to talk about, No Man's Sky. Okay. So, when you die, in Call of Duty, back in the, not even just back in the day, when you die in Call of Duty, a quote will pop up on the loading screen. It will be some kind of, motivational thing. I don't know, from, Dwight Eisenhower or Franklin Roosevelt, stuff like that. So, in No Man's Sky, when you die on a planet, you can actually get quotes from people like, I don't know, Carl Sagan, or just famous philosophers, Socrates, stuff like that. And one of the people they're taking quotes from is none other than Jaden Smith.
Wait, are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Oh, Christ.
So he was.
I suddenly don't want that game anymore.
No, you bull. No, you. Yes, you do. I am bullying.
That kid is crazy.
No. But he said he put it in not as like not as serious, but as a joke because it was like because he apparently in some point and there's multiple quotes. It's not like it's just strictly Jaden Smith quotes, but there's a few quotes of his, and one of them is going to be, "How can mirrors be real if our eyes aren't real?" Which I thought was so funny.
That kid's like on.
Oh, I know. I know. I'm not saying I like the kid or anything, and I don't really care about his weird ass little development, whatever the fuck he's doing. But that's just such a funny detail to me that I don't know, man. I thought that was really funny, and as long as it doesn't keep popping up over and over again, because they're gonna have tons of quotes from, like I said, philosopher.
Well, I liked the Carl Sagan quote. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have people from, like, Kurt Vonnegut, stuff like that. So, but I just thought it was really interesting how there's going to be that. And his reasoning was, so Sean Murray said, they're only featuring quotes, he said, only featuring quotes from scientists and scholars might have led people to perceive the game as being too pretentious. Which, I was like, I mean, I guess, but... He said, we're only doing it because it's fun. It's kind of like a fun thing. And I was like, all right, that's fine. Like I said, as long as it doesn't keep appearing over and over and over again, that's fine. That's like a little thing. Which, if I would kind of wish they hadn't told me that, because I kind of wanted to see that for myself in the game. And go, wait, what? Huh? But yeah, I just thought that was funny to share, because that kind of made me smile. Just
yeah.
But moving right along, we get to a very new, again, another interesting new IP from the guys at Media Molecule, who I thought were going to be there again to talk about Tearaway Unfolded, because they've been doing it for quite a while now, talking about it, and I was honestly going to go, ugh, I'm sick of hearing about it. But no, it's a new IP, which looks really interesting. It's called Dreams. I'm actually make sure I say the title first this time. It's called Dreams, and again, he was actually doing this live on stage, where it's pretty much where it's these. You pretty much create your own surreal dreams, your own surreal nightmares potentially, and it could be. And it's not just happy like Little Big Planet, where he's even said some people when they dream, they think of like really dark, disturbing things. I mean, I doubt there's going to be like satanic ritualism, and well, then again, that might happen because people could create that kind of stuff in dreams. You never know. So yeah. I just thought it was really interesting how it's like an interactive dream builder, and I like the diversity that they showed in the trailer. Like they have the thing where the guy made the guy with the piano. There's like a Star Wars Tron-like thing where some person is racing away from these robots on a speeder bike.
Yeah, there's the polar bears.
Oh, the polar bears are so adorable! Oh my god!
Yeah, so I mean, it really looks like you're given a blank slate to just kind of make whatever you want to make, and yeah. I mean that's intimidating for a lot of people. I would want to say, so they might stay away from that.
It seemed like easy the way he did it on stage. It seemed easy.
Well, I mean, I would have to see more about how it actually works. But the thing is, I'm not a very creative person, so I don't think I would actually play the game or buy the game. But the thing is it looks like just sort of like with what was the last game they made? I'm trying to think.
Little Big Planet.
Yeah, Little Big Planet, where you can make your own maps or whatever and then upload them. Like, you make your own dreams. Other people can go in and experience those dreams. But I don't know. I'd have to see more. Like,
I think the difference between that and Little Big Planet is Little Big Planet has this big creation engine, which is really intimidating. And I thought, oh, I don't think I'm going to like that because I really don't have the patience to create this kind of stuff. But the way they showed it for Dreams, you actually do it through the controller. So you pick like the type of the color that you want or the style, and you just make it right there on the screen by drawing with your controller. I'm sure that's not the only option, but
yeah, I mean, it looks cool, but I just don't think it's something that I would personally like to play with. But I mean, it looked cool. And
Yeah.
so more power to other people, because there's some people that are going to pick that up and then do some really, really creative stuff. I mean, look at Minecraft,
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
what people do with Minecraft. So, I mean, I wouldn't have the patience to do any of that in Minecraft.
I don't even like Minecraft, but I've been really impressed by some of the stuff that I've seen from them.
Yeah.
But I like how. But again, like I mean, a lot of people might not want to pick up Dreams, but it adds to that variety that the
Yeah,
PlayStation.
definitely.
It's in the PlayStation spirit where they are well known for embracing the really really offbeat, really weird kind of stuff, and this is another one of those things where it just seems so weird and mysterious that it's like, okay, I actually want to pick this up. It looks really cool, and it's a PS4 exclusive, which is awesome. And then the next thing they showed was which one of my most anticipated games of this year. One of like after like Batman comes out, this is definitely going to be in my top 3 of the year. Firewatch, which it's from a company named what the hell are their names? Campo, I think their names are Camp Santo or something like that. Where it's this first person story-driven adventure mystery set in the Wyoming, like in a Wyoming national forest in 1988. And it's
I think I totally missed that, because when you're saying Firewatch, I'm like, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
So maybe my stream screwed up and I missed it.
Maybe. I'll send you the link right now if you want to look at it while you're doing your thing. But it's pretty much like it's a mystery, and even before they showed it at E3 this year on Sony's stage, I actually got to see a 20-minute demo of it, like quite a while ago. I think it was like a few months back. I think it was sometime in February when they showed it, and at the time it was only going to be on PC. And I was like, God damn it! This looks so awesome. And
Is that one going to be like a sort of like a timed exclusive, or?
No, it's an exclusive for PC and PS4.
Okay.
From what I could tell, it's not like Abzu, the guys that made Journey, where that's PS4 first and then it's going to Xbox One later.
Okay.
But it's like a mystery, it's adventure, and there's a part where pretty much concerns this guy who, from what I could tell, he's kind of like going through a crumbling marriage. So for the summer, I think his marriage is actually crumbled at this point. So he takes a job at this Wyoming National Park, and he's kind of there to be isolated, to kind of get his priorities together. And it's about how he, while having this job, he kind of develops this relationship with the lookout, the lookout that he's assigned to.
Oh, I remember Firewatch now. Yeah. Like, it's just, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, where he talks over the
where he has like the walkie-talkie. Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah,
like,
and I don't think they got this like really. I think they did a good job in the trailer, but from the demo that I saw a while back, this game has some of the best dialogue, like natural sounding, like comedic dialogue, and funny and interesting, and it sounds like how people in real life actually talk. It doesn't sound scripted, which is really incredible. And it like was so, and it had a great sense of humor to it. It seemed really, it was beautiful art style. Again, it's not trying to be realistic. It's trying to have a very unique, kind of art style to it. And again, it's one of those games that's gonna age really well, visually.
Well, yeah, no, because it's got that. It's got I mean, its art style looks really nice, but at the same time, it's so I would say Pixar-y in the way it looks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, its goal isn't supposed to be uber hyper-realistic, and I like it when games do that, because that means that when you go back later on, you're not just kind of like, oh, yeah, it doesn't look as good as it could be, stuff like that.
And because I love looking at sunrises, I love looking at sunsets, I love looking at when the sun creates that pink light across the sky. This game has an abundance of that. So visually and atmospherically, it appeals to me wholeheartedly. I mean, everything about this game is something that is tailor-made for me. I mean, there's humor, there's an element of kind of like this like darkness to it and a mystery. There's the gorgeous, beautiful atmosphere and visuals. But yeah, and I was scared that it was originally just going to be on PC. But when they said, okay, our next game is Firewatch, I was like, no fucking way! Oh my god, yes! Because I was so happy to see that. Probably as happy as I was to see The Last Guardian. Oh, I don't know about that happy, but it was like, it was a big surprise for me, because I was really excited to see that. I don't know, it just looks so awesome, and and they said it's coming out this year, so I'm really happy to pick it up. Definitely going to be picking it up, day one. Oh, what did they do next? Before we get to the super, is that really? Let me see. Oh, of course. The next thing that they showed was like this had leaked a long while ago. The Taken King, the newest Destiny expansion.
Yeah, I see. The thing is like I'm not really sure what Destiny has been doing. I know that I played the Dark Below. I have House of Wolves, but I haven't played it yet. So I think this is supposed to be like the next big, like actually legitimate expansion to the game. And I mean, yeah, it's like, oh, well, you killed Crota in the Dark Below, and his father Oryx is pissed, and now he's gonna come and get you, but you're ready for him. And it's like, well, like, what are you adding? How is it affecting the game as a whole? I'm just worried that they're just going to toss in a couple of more dungeons or strikes and then a new raid and be like, okay, go kill Oryx now. And they're not going to give any background or explanation or story. Because as far as my understanding right now, they really still haven't explained jack shit. And that's what bothers me, and they're charging $60 for this. So
no, 40 for Taken King. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
60 was for that the Legendary Edition that I showed you, where it came with the base game, the 2 expansions, and then the Taken King. That was for $60.
So they were selling it and all of their expansions. Okay.
Yeah, which for that price, if the Taken King, if I see concrete evidence of them actually putting in something that appeals to me, and I actually see something that, like, proof that they have improved all the stuff in this game, and they've added a story, they've added an interesting... It doesn't even need to replace the shit that goes on in the base game. If they just add something interesting in the Taken King beyond go into this room, shoot, go to the next room, shoot, I will buy it. I will definitely buy it again. But if they don't, I don't care how good. And I've actually liked the trailer. I thought it looked interesting.
But yeah, the trailer can show anything. I mean, they did the same shit for the Dark Below.
Absolutely, yeah. And they said with the Dark Below, oh, we're fixing the story. And I'm like, you didn't fix shit.
No, they didn't do a damn thing. And for House of Wolves, I don't know if they've done a damn thing either, other than, like, because if they're like, oh yeah, the Awoken Queen, she's all pissed off now and stuff like that, and rabble, and she's like, oh, go and kill them all, and it's like, new quest hub, and it's like, but is it pretty much just going to be the same thing where it's just like, click, gain mission, go do stuff, do 3 missions later, you're done. Mm-hmm. You know, because that's pretty much the Dark Below. Literally, like, all of, like, the story missions for the Dark Below, people finish them all in the very first day. I am not joking with you. And they charged $30 for that shit.
Yeah. Which, that was unacceptable. That was just, no. I'm sorry, but
that's the reason why everyone gives, like, Witcher the stink eye when they're like, $30 for 2 expansions. And they're like, oh, no. And it's like...
Not even 30. It's 25. It's 25 for both, which I was like, holy shit, like, that's such a good value.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah. And then they showed the world of Final Fantasy, which...
Well, okay, so first of all, they opened up, and they're like, and they started showing like logos for Final Fantasy, and I'm like, oh shit,
yeah.
because I had saw a leaked information about a Final Fantasy VII remake, and I'm like, is this it? Is this it? Am I getting trolled? And then they showed World of Final Fantasy, which is like a chibi Final Fantasy where you shrink and you grow large, but you shrink, and I don't know, but it's supposed to be a PlayStation like exclusive.
Yeah. But I was like, maybe I might pick this up. I don't know. Maybe. But I originally, when they're like, it's the next entry in the series, I'm like, they're gonna talk about Final Fantasy 16 now, and then it was like, oh, it's this. Okay, and then I originally thought it was gonna either be 16, and then when I saw kind of like the chibi thing, I was like, maybe it's Tactics, maybe it's new Tactics, but no, it's the World of Final Fantasy, which is a chibi kind of thing. Where I guess all the characters, not all the characters, but like the most popular characters are gonna come together. But I don't know. And then, oh my god, then when they showed the live stream, the green live stream from Final Fantasy VII, I was like, no fucking way, no. When they said, okay, it's by popular demand, we have a very special treat. I was like, no. No, 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 no.
And well, some people were like, well, is this just like a trailer for like another one of those like
movie?
Well, no, I didn't think it was for a movie at all. I thought
some people said it was for a movie.
No, it wouldn't have been for a movie. They weren't going to announce a movie at a video game press conference.
Yeah, but I like it could have been anything. Knowing Square Enix, knowing their history of trolling people, it was like no. And then when I saw like Midgar, and I saw the light, and I was like, oh my god. And I saw like Southgate, like no fucking way, no. And then when they showed, it's like here's Cloud, and I was like, oh my god, the sword, and then it just boom, remake. What the fuck?
The best part of the entire trailer was the really cryptic stuff they were saying,
which concerns me a little bit.
Why?
Okay.
That was their whole setup for the remake. It's like a promise has been made.
No. But the fact that they said it may bring joy, it may bring like fear or something, and I was like, why would you want it to bring fear?
No, dude. They're not saying.
They're addressing the audience in that trailer.
Yeah, no.
Like, they are
because people are saying because they know people are naturally going to be like, oh shit, are they going to screw it up? You know, that's why I'm saying it's going to bring joy. It's going to bring fear. You know, people don't know what's going to happen with this. And, I mean, it's like a legitimate, like, concern because it's not going to have the same, it's not going to play the same as it did on the freaking PlayStation. You know, that was three generations ago. But,
yeah.
But the thing that, like, apparently you didn't notice is that, that when it showed it, like, the director of the game is the Kingdom Hearts guy, Tetsuya Nomura.
And then I heard that later, and I was like, holy fuck! I mean, I know he worked on the original Final Fantasy VII. I know he designed the characters, but I didn't think he was the fucking director of this. Which I thought, holy shit!
Which means that when 15 is done, he's gonna hop onto this.
Yeah. Well, no, he's already. Well, actually, I don't know if because he's not working on 15 anymore. It's Oh,
he's working on Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, he's doing because he left. I think this might have been the trade-off. I think this might have been the trade-off at Square Enix where they said, look, because they announced that they mentioned that they were working on this long before they started working on the PC port for PS4.
Yeah.
Which is really strange given that they announced that first. I think they did some kind of like trolling tactic that they're famous for, where they announce something that pisses off so many people, and then they actually choose to do the right thing later on, you bring people so low, and then you bring people back up to such a height that it's like, oh my god, this is unreal. But yeah, this is them finally giving people one of the most long requested games ever.
Well, I mean, for the longest time, they were just saying a bunch of bullshit like, or Square Enix was like, well, we'll do a remake of it when there's another Final Fantasy game that's more popular, and like
Mhm.
I that was horse crap.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, man, it was like this is definitely one of the highlights of the year for me. This is my top moment of the year, even more so than the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer. Seeing this again, like after what they did last year, especially. Oh my god, I haven't freaked out that much since they announced Kingdom Hearts 3 2 years ago. Just oh man, that I can't even believe that this still happened. What both concerns and excites me is that Nomura mentions that they're not going to follow the story exactly from the original game, which I'm like, okay, good. You can add new stuff, and as long as you don't dramatically change stuff,
Well, yeah, because
that's
naturally they're going to have to do a lot of extra different
yeah.
stuff. They're not going to do the same crap as before.
Yeah, I don't want them to go back to the turn-based combat. Maybe if they do something more dynamic, like what South Park: The Stick of Truth did, except more flashy. But I don't want it to be that same turn-based thing. And even Nomura said we don't want it to have these like amazing graphics and then have the character stand in like a diamond or a straight line, jump forward, attack, and then jump back and wait their turn. It's like that just looks weird in these kind of graphics, which I'm like, that makes total sense. That's fine. I have no problem with that. Even if they were to make the combat like what Final Fantasy 15 is doing, I have absolutely no problem with that. I know a lot of people are like really scared that they're going to do that. I actually welcome that change because this is
Well, I'm
especially
gonna be 100% honest. After like I've played a ton of tactical RPG games and things like that, and turn-based games, and it really pissed me off when apparently there was a time limit on how long you actually had to pick your moves in Final Fantasy VII, because I'm used to games where basically it's the same trade-off where like you attack, they attack, that kind of thing. But like
right.
you had time to just sit there and think about exactly what you wanted to do. But with
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII, they just kind of like gave you a timer, and I was like, shit, I don't, damn it.
Yeah.
And that actually pissed me off a bit when I was playing it.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, man, that was glorious. That was like, and seeing the reactions online for it, man, that almost brought a tear to my eye just seeing that, especially just
But the thing
like,
is much. I mean, for me, I was like, oh, no way, they're actually doing it. And I was like pretty excited. But the whole thing is like I don't know, like different people like react differently. But the people that I saw really super excited for Final Fantasy VII freaked the fuck out for the immediately follow, like the like, okay, so
not
after
immediately, not
the Final
immediately,
Fantasy
but
VII, there was a list of games from Devolver, a lot of
yeah,
like little mini games, which all I mean, it looks kind of cool. I
it's
mean, I don't
fine.
really know what else to talk about. I don't remember the names of them.
I think that was kind of like a cool down
Yeah,
period where
yeah.
like, okay,
But I don't know if
okay.
you really want to talk about the Devolver games because I don't really remember them.
No, I don't remember them
But
either. I mean, I noticed one looked cool. It was kind of like the old Simpsons arcade art style,
yeah.
but that's really about it.
But then,
And,
like the very like following right after Devolver, um,
God,
I can't remember what his name is, but he came out and one of the Sony guys, and he announced that
oh, Adam Boys.
okay, yeah, he came out and he announced that they were going to talk about a game that was going to be showcased on Kickstarter. And some
Mm-hmm.
people are like, "Oh, is this like Bloodstained? You know, is this, you know, like
Or
Mighty Number?
ukulele.
Is this like Mighty Number 9? Stuff like
Yeah,
that." And then you just see like just like this. You start
the
seeing
pedal.
like cherry blossom petals just start falling, and it. Oh my god! I just uh I I man, I just started to freak the hell out. I was like, no
Yeah.
way, and then it popped up and started saying like Shinmu left off so many years ago, and I was like, oh my god, Shinmu, no way. And they just started showing like this trailer. They brought out like the director and producer Yu Suzuki that did the first two of them,
Mm-hmm.
and oh man, I legitimately started to cry. I was so excited and happy because thing is Shenmue was like one of my favorite games when I was a kid, the very first one on the Dreamcast, and like I never really got to play the second one, and I knew the series never finished, and which was a giant shame because like Shenmue is like a game that I've wanted them to like finish for like years now. I mean, because Shenmue 2 came out like 14 years ago, so I mean,
Yeah.
like it's been a while, and the whole thing is I was super excited. Basically, they're talking about, it's like, yeah, no, we're gonna announce this here. Like, we want him to come out on the PlayStation stage to announce this. It's a Kickstarter. It's gonna be on PC and a PS4, and
they might bring it to other platforms eventually.
the thing is, I don't know about that. It's
maybe
like,
even if Sony is, which to be fair, the Kickstarter was only there to garner fan interest, which worked. Like
well, because the thing is they came out and they're initially saying like, okay, like we have we're trying to aim for $2 million to make the ultimate Shenmue experience and stuff like this, and right now they're sitting with $3.2 million, and and the thing is, there's a lot of people that are sitting there thinking like, well, why isn't Sony just like fronting all of this? And the thing about that is something that I was reading recently, is that there was like a sort of like this pages or these sites that Sony had been setting up where like it's like, hey, you know, if you could have like one game, what would it be? Apparently the overwhelming majority kept saying Shenmue 3. So they basically from what I understand, the Kickstarter is just to garner interest for the actual, to see if like people are legitimately interested in buying this game. And I'm pretty sure that the 41,000 people and 3.2 million that's been raised so far has shown that people are clearly interested in this game. That I from what I understand, that Sony is actually supposed to be fronting the rest of this money. So, because if you go into the Kickstarter, it's like, can you make an open world game for just $2 million?
Right.
They say no, we cannot make an open world game for $2 million. Shenmue will be produced using both the funds raised from Kickstarter and through other funding sources already secured by WiseNet Inc. We are very sorry, but due to contractual obligations, details of outside investments will not be disclosed, which pretty much means that, you know, other people are helping to fund them. I mean, if Microsoft wants a piece of this, they're going to have to pay in. That's basically the end of it right there. But I'm pretty sure that Sony is giving them a decent backing to it to make sure that game happens. That's probably the reason why it's even coming to the PS4 in the first place. But honestly, I think it's really cool and awesome, and they gave the creator, you know, like a place to like go out and talk about his game and stuff like that, which is really awesome. But I mean, that pretty much just sealed the deal for me. I was like, you're like, Sony is helping to bring a game that I loved as a kid back, and I'm just super excited about all of this. So it makes me really happy.
And I've admittedly never played any of the Shenmue games. I never owned a Dreamcast back in the day. I mean, I know people, and I've played on a Dreamcast before, but I've never played any of the Shenmue games. But I definitely know the reputation, the legend of Shenmue 3, which I've seen like a lot of people request it, and I was so happy that it's finally getting made, and Sony of all people are finally doing it. And Sega was, I mean, I gotta give props to Sega for actually allowing them to do this, because Sega was not going to do it. So Sega
apparently,
gave them the rights.
Sega just handed it, and they're like, yeah, you can use the Shenmue title.
Yeah, which I was grateful to them for, because they weren't going to do it. But yeah, it was, man, what? Like normally in E3, you get a conference that might have one bombshell, if you're lucky. One big bombshell. I know Microsoft had that with the backwards compatibility, which was huge. And I even said to you, I was really scared about Sony because I don't think they're going to deliver.
Yeah, you were like, I don't
They're
really
gonna
know what
drop
Sony can do, and then they just, have the
and then they just came
bombshell
out.
of The Last Guardian.
Oh my God.
They show a new game, like...
They did 3 bombshells. They did Last Guardian, the Final Fantasy VII True Remake, and Shenmue 3.
Yeah, I would say,
Which,
yeah.
oh my God.
For anyone that's interested, like, game trailers, like their page had some of the best reactions to both Final Fantasy VII and
That
Shenmue.
one guy that just
Like,
jumped around the room when Shenmue
like,
was revealed.
we should put a link in for the video, because basically someone put in where
Yeah.
basically it was the space between Final Fantasy and Shenmue. And the thing is when they were first talking about it, there's like, there's no way they're going to do Final Fantasy. And there's like one guy that literally jumped up on his like stool and was perching like a fuking bird. And it was like, and then there's like memes where it's like, you're excited for a game when you perch.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for that one dude, because like literally, I mean, basically he had the same feeling I did. They're like that was the same reaction I had where like when they did Final Fantasy, I was like, holy shit, this is really awesome and cool. And they're all like, yeah, oh my God, this is kick-ass.
Yeah.
And then, like, if you notice, like, the other two guys, they didn't freak out nearly as much as that other guy did, but they were both like, holy fuck,
Oh, and the woman that was sitting there, she just was like smiling. She wasn't jumping around, but she was smiling like crazy. And even she started crying at one point because like she was just like, I'm just so happy that you're happy.
Yeah, well, because the thing is like that one guy had the same, like, literally if anyone had been in the same room as me, I would have done the exact same thing that guy did, where he jumped up and he started hugging everybody and high-fiving and just kind of like sitting down and like crying and stuff like that. But I mean, that's the thing where it's like is excited as those guys were for Final Fantasy VII. When they saw Shenmue, that was a whole other level. Just to show you the context for something like that, for how awesome Final Fantasy VII is going to be and how excited people are for that. Like, they just lost their shit for Shenmue. Because the thing about Shenmue is, like, it was the very first sort of like open world type game I ever played. Like, because the thing is literally, you play as this guy named Ryo in Japan, and you go through different areas, you can walk through districts, you can go into shops, you can talk to different people, you can buy stuff, you can go and, like, fight, you have, like, fight scenes, you have conversations where you can do different things in conversations, It was the first time I really played a game like that, where, like, you can go outside, you're walking along the world, you can just walk into shops, just start talking to people, because you got to go and talk to them and try to solve, because it's also a part mystery, because your father gets murdered, and you're trying to figure out who murdered this guy, so you're trying to track down the killer. So it's part mystery. So you got to talk to people, you got to go to locations, you got to, like, try to find people, snoop it out. There's, like, chase sequences and stuff like that. It did a lot of really, really cool shit. I mean, there was collectibles within the game where, like, you got money, you could go to these little freaking, like, little capsule machines and get these little capsule toys and stuff like that. And, I mean, since it was, you could get, like Sonic and stuff like that. And different stuff. I mean, there was like these mini games and like other different people you could like talk to. It did a lot of really, really, really cool stuff. And unfortunately, at least for America, the Dreamcast died before they had a chance to bring the sequel to the Dreamcast. And the only version we got in America was a port on the original Xbox, which meant you couldn't carry over your save data from the first game, which basically ensured that both myself and my older brother didn't want to try to play through it, because we were like, well, we made all these choices before, and now we're just working off of like an assumed save state. So it's kind of like going in and playing like Mass Effect 3 after like not having any of your saves from the other Mass Effect games carry over. Basically, none of, like, the romances, none of the choices you made were kind of like, well, it doesn't feel like my experience anymore. It feels just sort of like generic, and I want to start over, But some other places got Shenmue. I mean, there was a European release, there was a Japanese release, so, I mean, they got all of it. But I'm really excited. Something I'm definitely going to try and do is try to find a way to replay Shenmue 2, or to play Shenmue 2, so I can get myself caught up on what's going on with the story. But I'm really excited for that shit. I'm over the moon.
I'm happy for you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for Final Fantasy VII. I don't realistically see that coming out for like the next 4 years, though. 4 or 5 years.
It's Tetsuo Nomura.
I mean,
that's the one downside of Tetsuo Nomura, because he's notorious for taking his sweet time with.
Yeah, because I mean, look at the last 2 games he's been the project lead on. Kingdom Hearts 3. The last Kingdom Hearts console game was on the PS2. Final Fantasy 15. That game's been in development for, oh god, so very long.
Well, to be fair, he also helmed the portable ones, like Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance, all that. I mean, it's not like he just went from Kingdom Hearts 2 to Kingdom Hearts 3. But there are actual reasons why. It's just maybe he's learned at this point that he shouldn't bite off more than he can chew. Maybe he shouldn't juggle so many projects. Yeah. But I don't know. I hope he's learned now, because I still hope he works the most of his time on Kingdom Hearts 3, and then maybe start to kind of like plan more for Final Fantasy 7. And then once Kingdom Hearts 3 is done, then he can go full steam ahead.
Yeah, because once Kingdom Hearts 3 is done, he's gonna hop over onto the... I mean, the thing is what they're probably already going to have people do is, since he's already, like, the game director for it, he's probably going to have people set up some base stuff to start beginning working on assets and things like that. That way they already have stuff for when they actually want to start plotting out the actual story and the world and things like that. So it's probably going to be groundwork that's... There's probably going to be a small amount of people right now that are going to start going and doing, like, groundwork for Final Fantasy VII, just kind of working on the basic stuff, like physics and geometry and stuff like that. But yeah, until Kingdom Hearts 3 is done, he's not going to he's not going to do that. Like, there's not going to be but the thing is, that's really exciting, because that means, like, for the first time in a long time, I feel like we have something to look forward to from a system, because basically it's just sort of been like, for every single console, it's like, oh, well, we know this game is coming out next year, or this game's coming out next year. Now we know for a fact that we have a Shenmue coming in. Apparently they marked Shenmue for, like, I want to...
2017.
Yeah, so, I doubt that's when it's going to release.
Soon.
I really doubt that's when it's going to release. But, I mean, they're giving... in the next 3 years or so, we're going to see a Shenmue, which is really cool. That has me, like, it's like, I'm looking forward to this game,
We might get an HD remaster if Sega will actually give them the right.
I hope so. There's, like, so many, because the thing is, like, on the Kickstarter page, there's people, it's like, oh, is there going to be, like, an HD for the first 2? And they're like, well, we don't know if we can actually do that, and things like that. But the thing is, if Sega decides not to be a dick, because the thing is, I'm pretty sure Sega's getting money through licensing, too, on this.
Yeah, absolutely.
They wouldn't just give away the name for free. Like, if anything, if maybe, like, when Shenmue 3 does come out, they give you, like, port versions, of Shenmue 1 and 2 to play, I would legitimately just sit down there and I would just start replaying Shenmue 1 and 2 before I even touched 3.
Or if they make some kind of movie from the cinematics.
Well, I mean, something on the Kickstarter page is the like, their first stretch goal was to put in all the cinematics from the first 2 games, so you could just sit there and watch them. So basically, kind of like, like in the Kingdom Hearts collection, where you were just watching the cinematics from those other games.
But if they make it like that, it's, I don't know, because those are really dull. Even as a Kingdom Hearts fan, it's like, man, those are dull. Just getting through those. Those are like 3 hours each, and they are. I mean, granted, Recoded is a lot more boring than 358/2 Days, but.
But yeah, no. But I mean, the thing is like the Shenmue stuff was cool.
Yeah, I mean that was a.
So like, if we get like the cinematics from Shenmue, and it's like you sit down and it basically catches you up on a lot of stuff. I mean, that would be nice. I would really love to see a.
I love that too.
I mean, hell, if anything, I might like just at one point in time borrow my brother's Dreamcast and just like replay the first Shenmue. But yeah, no, basically, like it's funny, like shit they were doing in in fucking The Order 1886 where you picked shit up and looked at it. Like, Shenmue was doing that, like, freaking 14 plus years ago, and
Really?
but the thing is, but you were also able to, like, find shit that way, too. Like, find clues and other random stuff, you know? Because you could go in the atmosphere, kind of, like, pick up stuff, kind of turn around, look at it, set it back down, you know? But, like, it wasn't just, like, random shit where it's like, oh, here's a boat, you know? So, it's just, like, I don't know. Shenmue did a lot of stuff, and, yeah, I'm just really super excited for that game. And well,
and we're approaching the hour and a half point for this.
well, what came next? What came next?
Well, do you want to cut off here and we can resume in the next episode? Because like Square Enix is going to take a little longer too. And we can just talk about the rest and give our final thoughts on that one.
Well, I mean, I kind of feel like the Square Enix is sort of like Sony 2.0 because that was followed by a bunch of like Sony exclusive games.
Right. But why don't we do that just so like that it like cuts off the thing at the hour and a half one because we don't want to go for like so long.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, yeah, I mean that. So next episode we'll talk about the rest of the Sony conference, final thoughts on that, tiny bit of Nintendo, tiny bit of Square Enix, and then just talk about the E3 in general, what we could expect. So look for the epic conclusion to it's our own Shenmue.
Shenmue is awesome. Yes, it is.
I'll let you fade out. I'll let you fade.
See you next time.